Today is April 23rd of 2023, and you're watching this video if you want to buy a Yamaha SUV Waverunner because they're freaking awesome. That's all it's to it. But the problem is that you're a cheap person, you don't want to pay what they're worth, and you especially don't want to pay for what it's worth to have one that runs well. I'm going to just try to do a video here to show you what goes into prepping one of these things to get it ready for sale, to be reliable, and what a responsible seller is going to do to one of these. Let's start at the basics here. Let's start at the trailer. All right, so something that's going to be done with this trailer is this post right here. It actually functions very well. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm going to go ahead and re-grease that. I'm going to make sure that that thing winds up and down as appropriate. This is going to be inspected. This is probably going to be changed out. It'll work, but it needs to be changed out if you ask me, this whole thing. So, you want your ski to be secured to your trailer, not have it like jury rig wrapped like that. That's half-assed. Don't do that. So all the bolts, all the hardware. Okay, this trailer has been in salt water before apparently, so all that stuff's going to be inspected. The tires, they're going to be taken off. The hubs are going to be re-greased. The bearings are going to be re-greased, repacked. Inspected all the way through this thing to make sure that this thing is roadworthy. This is something you're not going to find when you go to buy these. They're going to say, "Oh yeah, it's roadworthy." Really? Okay, I've seen more hubs burn apart on the road on these used skis than you can imagine. So, buy what you want. But I'm just telling you right now, that's not the way to sell a ski. All right, so this one, it presents very well. This thing is, I would put this easily at a 9 to a 9.5 out of 10 cosmetic. This thing is absolutely just shiny, beautiful. The owner took great care of it. They replaced the sticker package on it to make it look nice and clean and matching colors on the hood, etc. There's some flaws in it. The nose on these, a lot of times, is going to get these little spider cracks. You hit a dock. Turn the flash on. Sorry. You hit the dock and eventually you're going to put a little spider crack in there. So what you want to do is check underneath. All right, so there's zero cracking underneath here. That means that this is absolutely not structural. It's just fine. It's just, spider cracking is going to happen on your nose. This kind of stuff, this is just rub from whatever. I'm not sure exactly what it is. This is going to buff right out. The one cool thing about these fiberglass SUV hulls is this stuff, this gel-coated fiberglass. This stuff is so freaking resilient. I can hit this right now with 2,000 or 3,000 grit wet sandpaper, shine it up, throw a buffing wheel on there, and in 2 minutes, that's gone, perfectly shiny all the way across. This stuff is so resilient for buffing out. It could be white, powdery, ashy, you name it. It's going to buff out. So the hood right here looks like it got caught underneath probably a boat ramp, a boat dock. So it's got some rubs and bruises in here. So I'm going to take some buffing compound and I'm going to do my best to get that out of there, back down to nice and shiny again. There's going to be a little bit of evidence, but a lot of this is going to disappear. So stuff like this, this all takes time, All right, so we're talking about cosmetics. That's all we're talking about right now. Let's see. Trailer. Oh, bunk carpeting. I mean, look at this. This is about as half-assed as you can get. Nails. These are probably roofing nails by the looks of it. These are going to get taken off. New carpet's going to be put on there. This thing's going to be basically a new ready for the road trailer when it's done. The lights are going to work. Don't let anybody sell you a trailer that the lights don't work. The Texas state law, you don't need these during the daytime. Daytime running lights on a trailer are not necessary at all. Mine are going to be working. These are $25, $30 maybe or something like that for a new package. There you go. Here's something else you're not going to see. You're not going to see, I can hear that this board is dry rotted. It's no good. So I could recarpet this and you would never know the difference. I'm not going to do that to you. I'm going to use brand new treated lumber and brand new carpeting. I'm going to get that thing ready for the water. This one, when I pull it apart, this one might actually be new lumber on there, but I'll check. I'm going to make sure it's good. This will not come with it. That's what I use to double tow. So I use that for my double towing SUV specifically. So anyway, the jet pump, the clearance on the propeller inside there, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to pull this pump, I'm gonna take every single bolt that's in there. It's gonna be ground off on my wire wheel, on my grinding, on my bench grinder. The holes are gonna be re-tapped out so that the thread holes on the interior inside diameter thread holes are gonna be cleaned out, and everything is gonna be freshened up and clean again. This one's already got HydroTurf. This is awesome. This is in excellent shape for the HydroTurf. The seat is going to be recovered. Could I get away with not doing a seat? Absolutely. The material is still soft, but you got this right here. So if you store it indoors, not a big deal. You know, nobody really sits on the back seat of these that much. I'm going to go ahead and take this off. I'm going to recover it. I'm going to use I can't remember the company that manufactures them, but I'm going to put a nice maroon and white seat on there, so it's a seat cover. It's going to look a lot nicer when it's all done. Let's see. These are your stock sticker packages. You can see this one was taken care of. You're going to find 90% of your SUVs out there. This is all bleached off. It all looks like junk. Now these are stupid stickers in my opinion. You take a heat gun, this one will peel right off because it's in great shape. The ones that are all faded, they're going to take a lot longer to peel off. You can still get them off, but this is a great candidate to pull these off. This as well with a heat gun. Let's see. I mean, even the cowling, everything on this thing is in great shape. There's no very few little scratches. Most of this is going to buff right out. No. Your gauge cluster. You're going to find that a lot of these gauge clusters are like smoked in, fogged in. You can't hardly read them. I mean, this one was a garage stored ski its entire life. You can tell this thing is in perfect condition. Cables, nice and loose on the cables. This is a freshwater ski. There's just no problem with this one at all. The trim cable, everything works perfectly. You don't want any rigidity in your steering cable at all. You don't want any tightness in your reverse cable. Bam. So this is in great starting shape. I just bought this ski. This is a runner. It was sold to me as a running ski. That's not good enough for me. So when somebody says, oh yeah, it ran the last time I used it, don't fall for that crap at all. Oh, by the way, this is just cosmetics, but this is gonna get hit with a buffing wheel down here. There's some cobwebs down there. Everything's just gonna get cleaned off. It's gonna be ready for the water, shiny, just like you want it when you're paying decent money for a refurbished ski. So, I mean, this is a 2001. It's over 20 years old. There's nothing wrong with that. This fiberglass is 20 years old. You can see what excellent condition this is in. Keep it under a cover, keep it in your garage, and it's gonna look like this for frickin' ever. It doesn't take that much work to keep these things looking good. What was I gonna say? The things that do need to be done. I'm not willing to sell you this ski as a running ski until I have personally put 50 miles of my ass on this seat, running on the water, including a high-speed run, and I'm going to have it GPSed at least 50 miles an hour, somewhere between 50 and 52. You might squeak 53 out of it. Absolutely perfect condition in cold water with a half a tank of fuel. You know, there's certain conditions on a non-windy day that have to be met to get that 53 out of these, but I've seen it before. It's just super rare. So 50 to 52 is a beautiful running ski. I'm going to make sure that this thing has good motor compression. I'm going to pull the head cover today. I'm going to go down there. I'm going to inspect the cylinders. I'm going to move the pistons up and down. I'm going to check the cylinder bore all the way down. I'm going to make sure that this thing is a clean ski inside and out where you can't see it. No one's doing this for you. I guarantee you that. There's like 2 people or 3 people in Houston that are doing this for you when you find one of these skis. Go ahead and buy yours. Go ahead and pay a little bit less, and then you do all this work. That's what I'm trying to get the point across here. So I'm going to pull this motor today. I got my hoist. The cylinder head's going to come off. The carburetors are going to come off. The carbs are going to be sent out to Jimmy Lynch. Jimmy Lynch is the guy to send these carburetors. This is a 65U motor, and it's got the Mikuni SBN 44 triple carburetor stack in here. Jimmy is the guy for sending those off to. I'm going to pay over $600 just to have him rebuild the carbs that already work. Don't get me wrong, they already work. What he's going to do is he's going to do what's called an O-side bill modification on there to bulletproof those carbs so that if you have one cylinder that stops receiving oil for some reason, which does happen, you'll read about it all online, people burning out a cylinder, burning out a cylinder, burning out a cylinder. This recipe for bulletproofing is what these things need in order to be bulletproofed. So it's getting inside the carburetors, it's drilling a hole, increasing the diameter of one of the fuel delivery holes in there, and putting some different jetting in there, jetting in the carburetors. That creates a back pressure that feeds the cylinder that's not being fed in the event of a failure of one of your oil lines. I'm gonna have him take this thing off of the oil pump and put it on premix. I'm gonna have him install a primer line on this one. So this, and I'm gonna have him take it up to Lake Somerville, and he's going to personally tune it in and make sure that this thing is as badass as it can be again. And Jimmy he just has the formula on this motor, these carburetors, and especially on this SUV as far as getting that ready. I'm gonna put the money in on top of what I paid for this ski. These things aren't cheap, you know they're not cheap, and my price ain't gonna be cheap because it's gonna come to you ready to go. It is titled in my name. It is registered in my name for the trailer. All paperwork is in my name, in my hand. I'm not the guy that's gonna sell you a bill of sale and say, oh yeah, it's good to go, you can register it. You're not gonna have a hard time registering this. I'll go down to Texas Parks and Wildlife with you here in Houston. I'll register it with you. I don't care. That's what I'm gonna do for you. Another reason that we are pulling the motor today, the fuel tank inside these things. This is a 2001. This is a 22-year-old ski. That fuel tank, I've looked at the bolts that are in this on the motor mounts. This fuel tank has never been removed from the ski. It has never been cleaned out properly. I'm gonna take that gas tank out of there, the fuel tank out of there after the motor comes out. It slides forward. I'm going to get it all cleaned out to brand new. It's going to be treated with either brake cleaner or something like that to get any kind of residual and sediment out of that tank. This is going to be a brand new gas tank when you're done with no questionable fuel in it. It's going to be absolutely brand new fuel system when this ski is done. Let's talk about hardware inside. All this hardware inside of here is stainless steel, except Yamaha uses, for whatever reason, a substandard hose, water hose and other hose clips inside of here. All these hose clips inside of here are going to be replaced. Anything that can be replaced is going to be replaced with stainless steel. If you decide, like all the rest of us, that you want to take this down to Galveston, you want to end up running this on salt water, it's no problem. It's just preventive maintenance at that point. Now you don't have to worry about this hose clamp that's sitting in the belly of your ski that you can't really access very well, having to get that super clean from your salt water. I'm going to put stainless steel in there so that it's going to last for a freaking long time, as long as you take care of the ski, do your proper clean outs and flushings, seasonally at least. One other thing I was trying to think of. Behind the motor, there's a mid-shaft coupler with a bearing in there. I'm going to make sure that bearing is serviceable and in good condition. If it's not, that whole unit, it's a $200 setup, is going to be replaced. I think that's the case in this one. I didn't like that there's a little bit of play in it. That's very likely what I'm going to do in this one, is replace that. In case you're not familiar with Waverunners and skis in general, inside of your jet pump here, there's that kind of off-white plastic cone that's in there. Inside of there is where your jet pump bearing is sitting. There's a greased area back in there. These things are very rarely serviced by people, so I'm going to pull that. The entire pump's coming out, like I told you. This whole area is going to get cleaned up back in here, and that cone is coming off, and it's going to have marine bearing grease reapplied in there, so that to preserve the longevity of your jet pump. I just opened this for the first time. I can't believe how clean this is. These are always stained yellow, scraped up in here. This is actually shiny down here. This is a clean ski, y'all. I'm telling you what. I'm pretty impressed with this freaking ski. These are inspection ports down in here, inspection holes. One thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to pull all the inspection holes off of there. When everything is outside of this motor, it's all gone out of there. I'm going to be, step back here. The electronics are going to be taken out just to get them out of the way. I'm going to fill this ski up once everything is out of there to about halfway inside with water. So I'm going to flood the inside of the ski. I'm going to tip it back on a trailer, like as far back as I can. And what that's going to show me is if there's any water leaks in the back of this ski at all. Typically, if a ski is going to have a leak, sometimes where you'll get it is, okay, this is in really good shape here. See that goop that's in there? These skis are built on a double clamshell design. The bottom is one half. At the factory, they have the bottom half. They're starting to drop, you know, motor and electronics to make it nice and easy. After they're done, they lower the top half on, and the way it's sealed up is that goop. It's kind of like construction adhesive, if you will, marine construction adhesive. They put that goop around there, and then they rivet the hull together. Sometimes on this back end, not too often, you're going to get a leak at that seam, because if these things get hit, you know, it's got some dock rash right on this rear bumper right here. Big deal. That's what it's for. It's a bumper. So sometimes you'll end up with a little bit of a leak back in here. I'm going to make sure you don't have that leak. Another place that it can leak from, let's see, where's another good spot that it can leak from? Around your cables. So where the cables pass through the hull back in here. There's a cable back by that white thing on the back transom out there. There's another one that's going to be over here. Let's see if we can see that guy. Yeah, there's actually like weeds back in there and stuff. Seaweed or something from the lake that he was on. This is up on Lake Conroe where I got it from. Real good guy. So anyway, there's some areas back in there that are sealed up, but sometimes you'll develop like a pinhole water leak back in there. I'm going to make sure you don't have that problem on this one. Let's see, other things. Oh, the Yamaha emblem here. This is just a little kind of rubbery, shiny doohickey. I'm going to make sure and seal that thing back down there so it doesn't come flying off. Big deal, it's cosmetic, but still. There you got your seat rips right here. This is another reason why this one's getting a seat cover on it, just to make it pretty. Let's see. There's just not a lot that I have to do on this one cosmetically, so that's really nice. These are usually all white and ashy. This one's been properly taken care of, nice and black and shiny. These corner bumper pieces, a lot of time you'll find these things missing. These are super common to end up with one missing. These will cost you anywhere between $15 and $50, depending. They're rather rare to find these, so you're going to pay for them if one of these is missing. So if yours has one missing, beware. I think that's a good enough start for this video. I just wanted to kind of show you the things that are going to go into this thing. It's not a short list. So, you know, I built a lot of 4-stroke skis. I got motors all over the place back in there. I got to clean my shop today before I even start this project, get organized again. I just finished a Yamaha SUV 4-stroke conversion using a Yamaha FXHO MR1 motor from a 2005 FXHO. So the shop got pretty chaotic here for a little bit. Anyway, want to show you what goes into there. Hopefully this is worth your 18 minutes of your time. Be good.